Hello, welcome to Burning Questions. November 22, we're going to have a big look at the Melton Entertainment Park meeting tomorrow night, Saturday night, November 23. And three special guests join me. We'll start with the Dunns. We've got the Dunn with the E variety here, Dunne. Lukey Dunn has slipped away from the scorching heat at Mildura. He's driven in the first two races. No luck there, Luke. Hopefully, the Burning Questions crew might be able to help you find a winner later in the card. Thanks for jumping in the car, mate.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
I think it's your debut as well, so big things expected from Lukey Dunn. The Dunn variety without an E is Aaron Dunn, and he's deliberately done this. He's just shown us that nice pool in the background. That's a bit rough, Dunny.
Oh, well, I just had to find a nice spot, and the bookkeeper's here today, and she's in the office where I normally do it. So I thought I'd just put you in a bit heavy.
Yeah, you're it'll be pretty hot up in the Wimmera today, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it's up to 37 today. Won't be quite. I think it's hotter in Mildura today, actually, when Ryan had a look a couple of days ago. So, yeah, no, it was very warm there this morning, running around without him here and the vet coming. So I was very busy.
Good man. Let's get stuck right into it. Time is of the essence. Pride's Easy Feed stand as a proud supporter of the harness racing industry with their set recipes and quality ingredients to give the trainer confidence in what they're feeding. So make the switch to Pride's and start getting the result you've been chasing. And as I read that out, I forgot to introduce our other guest, Darren Carroll. That's a bit rude of me, Daz. I feel like I've talked to you for about the last 2 hours. So anyway, good to see you.
Thanks for inviting me. Yeah.
Apologies. We just did radio. We've spoken on the phone. We've texted all morning and all night. So that's why I forgot you. Righto, the first question. There's chances aplenty now Herbie's left the state. So could Luke win the opener despite a tricky gate? Race 1 on the card at 6:29 p.m. tomorrow. Luke Dunn partners up with the Ash Herbertson trained Tiger Bandwagon. I will start with you, Aaron. Not sure if you've got any opinion on this race, Dunny, or if there's been horses you've raced against or driven. I thought it was a really tricky race. Could you give us the winner in the opening event tomorrow night?
I thought Young Bluey's probably going as good as he's ever gone, to be honest. He's flying, and yeah, just thought he'd be able to nearly get to the front and hold him out, I'd say.
Okay. Well, that's a very interesting line of thought because I think Darren Carroll's in the exact same camp there, Daz.
Yeah, that Herbie bloke, he didn't get a winner last night, did he? Must be overrated, doesn't he? Yeah, overrated. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very keen on Young Bluey. As Aaron was saying, he seems to think he'll find the front. If you look at what's drawn inside him, we've got Layden. He's a Meister, Rock and Roll Waller. I'm convinced they're all hand-up horses. So he's just got to kick up and keep outside, keep Heavenly Gypsy and Royal for Roscoe Rockwell, Riccio Slammer out wide, which I think he's got enough speed to do. And gee, that Sonoma Cup was impressive. And his runs before that were just super as well. So he's adaptable. He's lightning quick off speed, but he's now shown another string to his bow, and that is he can lead. So just got a lot of things in his favour tomorrow night. Doesn't look like a high pressure race after that. So he's my best of the night. So Young Bluey in the first.
Yeah, well, it's a bit of a worry because I've taken on Young Blue. I've been on him for the last few starts, and I'm taking him on here. I've just had a mini tornado there, blow a couple of my old empty beer bottles there over. So just the dog's gone flying. Yeah, I didn't think it was as straightforward, to be honest. But if Young Bluey does walk to the front and control the race, yeah, he's going to be very hard to beat. Dunny, I'm assuming you hope that Matty Craven and Young Bluey don't get an easy lead. I'm actually tipping Tiger Bandwagon here. I think he can win with the right run. What are your confidence levels?
Yeah, well, obviously he's going to need a little bit of luck. It's a bit tricky, but the map says Young Bluey's possibly going to be hard to beat, but hopefully Raw for Roscoe can keep it honest a little bit and keep a bit of tempo in the race. We might be able to get a little toe into it there somewhere. He's been racing really well of late, and if he gets a sniff at the right time, well, he's definitely a chance. But yeah, I definitely think Young Bluey's the race is for him.
Yeah, okay, good stuff. Have you driven Tiger Bandwagon before over the journey?
I have one drive on him before at Bendigo. American Legacy won the race, and I think they went 52 or something that night, and he was first up. I think it was the start of this prep, actually.
Yep. he looks to have improved, through the course of the preparation, doesn't he?
Oh, I think that was probably only 3 months ago I drove him, and I drove him as about a 67 rater, I think. And what's he up to now? About a 90?
92, so, yeah.
Yeah. So he's done a good job.
Yeah, he has. I remember talking to Herbie there after he won a race early in the prep, and he said, there's more to come from this horse. So they've liked him for a long time. Anyway, good luck, Luke Dunn there driving Tiger Bandwagon. I'm going to go with him, but very wary of what Aaron and Darren say with Young Bluey. Logical Staffing Solutions provide labour hire and recruitment services to the transport, warehousing, automotive and manufacturing industries. A logical solution for your staffing needs. Will the deal prove too hot, or is there more to this Race 5 plot? Of course, Race 5 is the first leg of the main quaddie. Aaron Dunn trains and drives Hot Deal. We'll go back to you, Luke. You're not involved in this race. Not often we see class discrepancy as wide as this. National rating 59 for Quiet Storm and national rating 120 for Hot Deal. It's an interesting event.
Yeah, it's a fairly open sort of race with the grading of it, but obviously a Hot Deal was fairly well up here last start at Mildura. I think that was him, or was it Lethal? Not Lethal Louis.
No, that was him. I reckon. Yep, it was him.
That was him. Yeah, I was pretty sure it was him. I only had a brief look earlier. Yeah, he's got a fair bit of class over the field. Again, it's a little bit of a tricky draw, but he's got a little bit of class over him, obviously, with the rating. But there was one in there. Is it Wattlebank Arnie in that race?
Yep, drawn 8. Yep.
I didn't mind that one just off its closing sectionals for the last few runs. It's one race there at Swan Hill. I know it won. They run home in, I think it was 27, and it was 3 back to fence, and it picked them up. And it's been pretty sharp since then as well. It's obviously going to need a little bit of luck, but I just thought Hot Deal's possibly going to have to do a little bit of work there at some point, just with the draw and with how Aaron drives and what he does. When I thought it might get a little sniff in there later in the race.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. I took it on that night at Swan Hill. I remember it. I left it out of the quaddie and everything. I didn't think it could win from 3 fence, and it won. Then I won again at Melton, and then it Daz, as we go to you, the sectionals, I haven't got them in front of me, but I did look at them last night. I think the race, when it ran second last time out at Wagga or wherever it was, they were incredible times home. Yeah. 53 something last half.
Yeah, set leaders back behind one that goes pretty good and just couldn't quite peg it back. But yeah, it's lightning off speed. So was building a good record for a reason. But yeah, drawn behind Quiet Storm, who I think will be aggressive off the gate. Toc, we've been on Quiet Storm quite regularly over the time, and seems amazing that we backed it in, I think, up to 55 rating race at Geelong a couple of starts ago, and we got about $6 that day. So didn't win, of course, but it seems ridiculous that it's taking on the standard that it is today. So it's probably going to be under the odds. Is it a chance? Yeah, absolutely, but I couldn't come into it when you got horses like Earl of Pembroke and Hot Deal in the race, and to me, they're the class runners. Hard to split the two. I'll be hoping that the market allows me to back both of them because they just look classes above the rest to me.
Yeah, I'm with you, Daz. I'm with Earl of Pembroke over Hot Deal. And I think the 2240s in our favour too, isn't it, over the 1720?
Absolutely.
Yep. Dunny, what are your thoughts here? I mean, and how are you going to drive your horse? I mean, as you know, you can see it here on black and white. You're 120 rater, and you're going to be taking on your next best rival, Earl of Pembroke's a 92 rater. It's a fair old advantage on class.
Yeah, look, it's a little bit of a tough one. He seems to be able to do. He just seems to love going to Mildura, and probably sometimes I don't love going to Mildura. He should be up there every week, really.
So you send Darryl Crone, do you?
Well, I did when I had to go to the Breeders' Crown heats, so and that worked out good. But he's been working the best he probably ever has at home. He's a bit of a lazy fella, and it's one of those races when I've had to do it. If I've gone around mid-race on him down there in Melbourne, he just doesn't seem to, he might run a top 4, but he just probably doesn't win it. So probably looking like, hopefully there's a bit of tempo in it, which, I'm worried there might not be. But then I've also got Earl of Pembroke that maybe I might be able to get a card up into it. So just probably have to look at it tempo-wise and go from there.
Yeah, but you think he can win the race? You're happy with him. He's going well, and it's a good chance for him.
It is a good chance. He's probably working. He's been working with D-Row and over a bit more distance and been working a treat. So even D-Row's had to he's probably a classier, speedier horse, but has to work hard to beat him in front. And over time he's probably anything can nearly get up to him, and he just plods away. So. That's one good thing. But yeah, I think he win the race. I do. There are a couple that if I did have to do work and go round, they might just out sprint me. That might be the problem. Yeah.
Now, before we move to question 3, Luke, just thinking back, I don't reckon I've spoken to you since that blistering effort in the 100-metre sprint there at Mildura, whenever that was, going back 6 months ago. You must have been, given how well you went and how easily you picked them up, you must have been just thinking you're a moral heading into that.
I didn't think I was a moral because I consider myself a bit more of a journey horse than a journey person than a sprinter. But I think I was probably in the same situation as Hot Deal, and I got into a race pretty well.
I was going to say you're taking on the caliber of like Alex Ashwood and
so Mick Gadsden and showing a lot of toe.
Yeah, you got a couple of 30 raiders in there.
I wouldn't be concerned though about your handicap for the stall this year, though, Luke. You might have shown yourself up a bit.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought I backed my employee, and he needed the stick on him. He was local.
He did.
Do a bit of work on him, man.
Good stuff. It's going to ruin you for Easter, Lukey. But anyway, you've got a big feature in the Sunraysia. Let's move on to question number 3. Rebels now fave with Willow out. So will she prove too classy in this mare's bout? Race 6 is a renowned silverware mare's free for all over the 1720. Jillaby Willow is a scratching for Team Lee. Rakiro Rebel at last look was about $1.75 favourite. Luke, we'll go back to you here. You're not driving in this race, but you'll know about these horses. Rakiro Rebel's flying. I think she's a deserved favourite. And I think this race sets up for her personally. Are you with the favourite, or can you see a little surprise occurring here in race number 6?
No, I think I'll stick with the favourite, Rakiro Rebel. Obviously, with the 2 Emma Stewart runners, Waterfront's got a fair bit of speed, and I'm tipping Aaron's going to try and lob as handy as possible. So if he has to hold one of them and maybe let one go, or he holds a lot, I'm not sure, but I'm tipping there could be a little bit on early, just, considering multiple Stewart runners. So, you probably want to hold one and, give yourself a best chance to at least run a place, I'd say. And I think that might just open it up and make it a bit easier for Rakiro Rebel. It's not going to... The last couple of runs, I think it's had to sit parked probably a little bit out of its comfort zone, and they've really run along out with Jillaby Willow, and they've sort of left her flat off the back, and she's been vulnerable up the straight. But I think that she'll probably get the last say at them in this race, and she probably got a little bit of class just at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll hold you to last, Darren. Darren, I think we're seeing this fairly similar. We're in camp Rakiro Rebel.
Yeah, absolutely. It depends what Aaron's tactics are, but you would think that he has to show initiative, but we'll ask him in a second, I suppose. But I thought the only way that Sweet Bella could win the race was by leading. And I didn't think that was going to be the case, because Rakiro Rebel, we talked about the previous race and the class discrepancies. I've loved Sweet Nicky Lou's runs this last 2 outings, but we're talking coming across the same age to, open mares now, and Rakiro Rebel has been sensational the last 2 runs, breaking the clock. Last start, only finished a couple of metres behind Perfect Class and Like a Wildfire in that race, widely discussed last week. But, I just think very, very hard to hold off Rakiro Rebel late. She's got scintillating speed, so if they overdo it early, it's just going to fall into her camp as well. But over to Aaron, I suppose, on how he's going to drive this to get his best chance.
Yeah, well, you have a big key here, Aaron. Look, I know you fairly well. I would assume that you would like to be holding up early, because if you let a Waterfront go, or you might end up 3 pegs. And going as well as she's been going the last couple, I mean, I think you've got a great chance of winning. So tell us how the early stages might pan out, please.
Yeah, that's probably the little bit of the problem. Like we had that mile race where she was in with the, she went in the free for all there. Probably was that last time in, or anyway, when she ran second, they're very pretty, and it was just probably a bit unlucky that I got crossed, and then that put me 3 back. So that's the issue. If I hand up to Waterfront, well, it did weaken last week, and most likely will hand up to the stable, mate. So I've probably got to push forward a bit, and yeah, it's just pity it's not a full field where Rakiro Rebel might have had to come round a few more. She's not far off the mark, and if a bit of pace off, it would, Greg will be off, and then and if I'm 3 back, well, I'm probably too far back. So, yeah, would have been nice to maybe have one of those, maybe one of those Emma Stewart horses and not 2. So I've got to probably just use her a little bit more and then make up my mind. But, I don't, because it's that bit of a, discrepancy with the, class, I don't want to kill her either.
Yeah. Do you think she's up to this sort of level, though? I do.
Well, they went, we were in that, maybe, I can't remember which horse, 3 for-allers were in that race, but when Very Pretty won, we went 150 point something, and I was held up big time, and then just got out and didn't even touch her because I was too far off her.
That's right.
So that's the reason we probably put her in that race is because we're going to draw 1, and there's not much else to go in. So just thought, just put her in and see it. At least you're on the fence, and that'll suit her good. And she's shown that she can run plenty of time. So see what happens.
Yeah. Good stuff there. You got something there, Daz? I see you clicking away.
No, I was just looking to see what was in that race. So Very Pretty beat Sweet Nicky Lose. The Sun and the Moon. Is this just fantasy? VMG McRae. It was a nice handy field. Tilly James, another one in the race. So, yeah, it was a nice handy field. This one probably, if you take Very Pretty out of that race, this is probably another step up. We haven't even discussed a horse like So What. Like, it's been racing really well. It has got good gate speed if they decide to press the button early as well. So, but again, it's in a hand-up horse too. So,
I know.
Another one, if you take a sit on it, then you back another spot. So it's a really interesting tactical race.
Delightful Tammy gets that well as well. Just one last one on this race, Aaron. If you want to lead, do you feel like your mare's got the pace to hold them all off?
She has. She probably come out as good as them the other night. I just didn't want to, work her too hard and then, not cross and then just have to, so I just sort of glided forward, knowing that I was probably a bit concerned that I might have ended up in, the Waterfront would have handed up to the favourite, but it didn't. So at least I was on its back, and then it was, just a matter of trying to outsprint it. I was probably just a bit unlucky the other night. One come to me outside, and if I'd waited another 50, I probably could have gone back to the inside, and still might have picked up the favourite, but I would have been a bit closer anyway.
Yeah. No, it was a great run. Good luck there on Saturday night. There looks plenty of chances in the final leg of the quad. So which horse gets the final nod? Race 8 is the Pride's Easy Feed Pace at 10:26 p.m. That's quite late, but there's still a winner to be found. Luke Dunn drives I'm Shadow Boxer for Ash Herbertson. Luke, we'll just hold you to last. Back to you, Aaron. It's a tricky race. I'm not sure if you had any opinion here. I could make a case for 5 or 6 of them. I'll probably go pretty wide in the quaddie myself.
Yeah, look, there's probably a lot of horses that have been around a while and, going up and down grades. And, first I was going to look at, Dressed in Gold, and then I thought, it's only, going to a new stable sort of probably kicked a few goals, but then it's probably, only just been going around in 55 grade. So I think, I'm a Shadow Boxer probably, if he'd drawn better, it'd be all right too. But then he's sort of out wide. He's got to get a nice run, but then it's only a small field, so he might get right into it. So I actually can't remember now which one I was going to go with. I was just going to. That's right. I think I'd just go with the winning form, and I'll go with Give Dave a Wave.
Yeah, for Craig Oban. He's got it going great guns, and he won that Yarra Valley Pacing Cup. Gave a good old salute. He loves the salute, Craig. Yeah, doesn't he, Darren? He's doing a great job with his team. Well, I've spoken to you on radio today, and I reckon you're looking at that race from a form line perspective, but maybe not the winner.
Yeah, it's a great form race. Just on the salute, Jay Lee salute in New Zealand probably takes the cake for a little while, doesn't it? That was a good one from about the 100-metre mark. So
even the Victoria Trotters Derby before that, I reckon he was he did the JMac. He did the JMac VS16 nice and early.
I do like a good salute, so keep that. Remember that one, boys, when you win a big race. It doesn't have to be a big race either, as far as I'm concerned.
Or a foot race. A foot race.
Yeah, I think Luke did do the salute in the foot race. I think
he did.
Yeah, the fist pump. Yeah, I think really wide open race. I think you're on the right track, Tim. It's the last leg of the quaddie. You'd want to be going fairly wide. Terrorise was probably going to win at St Arnaud. I'm sure of that on the corner, and he galloped around that last corner. Give Dave the Way's got really good gate speed. Expect him to be up in the first few. Mirakuru looks well placed. Aaron said it right regarding Justin Gold. He had been running around, 55 type raiders. He's out of the draw, so it's not well assessed, but I think it's going really, really well. I thought it was a great run at Yarra Valley last start when I had to work early, so I've got it on top, but I'm like you, Tim. I'd be going fairly wide in my quaddie.
Yeah, yep, I will be. 4 or 5 horses for me. Luke Dunn drives. I'm Shadow Boxer. Luke, your thoughts here? Have you driven him before? Any push from James Herbertson, Ash Herbertson, doing the form yourself? What are your thoughts here, race number 8?
I have driven him before. I've won a race on him before, actually, at Swan Hill. Yeah, he's very sharp little horse with the right run, but he's a bit of a victim that he needs the luck. He's sort of got to have it on for him. So he's probably going to have to drift back at the start and hope there's a little bit happen for us, and whether we can get a toe into it or not, we're going to have to assess a few things a little bit closer to the night. When I talk to Ash and whatnot, because I haven't spoken to Ash or James yet. But I don't know. It's a very tricky little race. Like at his best, and he's right grade. This is probably his race, but just a little bit unfortunate we've drawn where we have. But I don't know. I can't really get a take on the race just yet.
Yeah, no. As I said, we said very wide. I'm with the Cleaver, Steve Cleve, for the record. Mirakuru, I reckon this is if he can just navigate a path off the inside back row draw, I reckon he might have the class. And he's not a rating certainty by any means. But he is the highest rated horse at 69. I've loved his last 2 runs. So he's a horse that's raced sparingly. I think he's a 9-year-old. He's only had 40 something starts. I think there's a trotter going around tonight at Melton, Andy, that might be a 3-year-old, had about the same amount of starts. If he can get him right, I think his best might be good enough. So Mirakuru for me. That is the 4 questions sorted, but there's one last task to do. Sharps Bakery sponsor our best bet segment. Luke, I'm pretty confident in saying you would have tried the vanilla slice at Sharps Bakery there in Birchip.
Wrong. I actually went with the jelly slice.
Can you give us a quick little review? Is it as good or right up there with the vanilla?
No, I haven't really tried a lot of bakeries. I haven't been out and about trying too many things, but it was probably one of the better jelly slices I've had.
Good stuff. Good push. Now, find us a winner, please. This is where you make your name on Burning Questions. Are you going to put the pressure on yourself or onto someone else, maybe even Aaron Dunn?
I sort of weighted up between 2, but I'm probably going to take the easy route and go with Rakiro Rebel. Just the race seems to map fairly well for her. The other one I would have said, and you probably could say each way, would be, I don't know why, but I just have a feeling Wattlebank Arnie could pop up.
Yep, I like it. 2 play. Well, I'll join you with Rakiro Rebel. I'm going to make her my best bet on the program in one of the features. Aaron Dunn, what are you going to do? Are you going to go hot deal, or, as I said, are you going to put the pressure on somebody else?
Nah, I'll put the pressure on somebody else. I'll go with Young Bluey.
Good stuff. Young Bluey, race 1, number 4 for Matty Craven. Darren Carroll, am I right in saying you might be heading down the same path here?
I thought that Darren would lean that way. So we're 2 and 2. We're both on Young Bluey. Very, very keen. So like the fact that we're both confident in our best bet.
Good stuff. Well, I reckon it's been some time since we've had a clean sweep of best bets on burning questions. There's usually 4 people with 4 different ideas, and it's hard to land 4 winners.
So what? The tab will put up $10 that double?
Yeah, well, I've got to get onto them, see if they'll do it for. Yeah, well, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? Or if anyone else out there wants to jump on, more than happy to have an elevated price. But looking forward to that. Rakiro Rebel for me and Luke Dunn, Young Bluey for Darren, Carroll, and Aaron Dunn.